Right. Woo! Another week, another win for the Ravens. They headed up to Houston to face off against the Texans, and they left with a 33-16 win. I loved what I saw from the team. Unfortunately, not everybody was able to leave unscathed. We did lose Tavon Young. He suffered a knee injury in yesterday's game, and it has been confirmed today that it was a torn ACL. So he's going to be out for the season, which is devastating because he suffered a season-ending injury in training camp last year, and now once again he's suffering another season-ending injury. So wish him luck. Best of luck to him. Hopefully he has a speedy recovery and we'll see him next season. Let's talk about the offense today. Lamar Jackson, he played well. He played really well. Actually, you could probably say he played good to somewhat great. He was an MVP Lamar. That's not who showed up and played today. But honestly, they didn't need Lamar to be MVP Lamar because the run game was doing relatively well. They did better in the second half than they did in the first half, but they were doing relatively well running the football. Heck, Lamar even got a couple carries himself where he scrambled and got a lot of great yards. The run game was very effective against the Texans defense, so they really took advantage of that in the first half. There was not a lot of plays Lamar had to really make down the field in order to get them down there. Now, for the most part, they were able to move the ball on the Texans. It's just we weren't really finishing drives today. We were getting field goals instead of touchdowns, something I know Lamar doesn't like doing because he wants to get in the end zone every single drive. But, it's only week 2, still working through the kinks. Hopefully, they do get to score more next week against their opponent, which will be on Monday Night Football. We'll talk about that in the upcoming days. But, yeah, offense, for the most part, was doing well. The passing game, in terms of the receivers, they were doing well blocking and making plays. There was not a lot of plays to go around, especially downfield, but they did make the plays they needed to make. Lamar looked solid throwing the football. And one thing I love that I saw from Lamar is he has so much control on the offense. But not only that, he really has improved at being able to read defenses. There was a moment in the game where it was third down, and it would look like there was a blitz coming off the edge of the left side. And Lamar moved J.K. Dobbins over to his right side because he was planning to throw the check down to Dobbins and have him pick up the first down. He snapped the ball. The blitz was coming from the left side. Threw it to J.K. Dobbins. Dobbins fought to got the extra yards, and we got the first down. So that was a great adjustment by Lamar Jackson. He saw the play, he read the defense, made the adjustment, got it out to the right man. It was just a great play for Lamar Jackson. You could see how much he's matured and how much he's gotten better at being a quarterback. Not only in just improving his accuracy, which he's done a fantastic job in the first 2 weeks, but in terms of being able to read defenses and being able to go through his progressions and make adjustments at the line of scrimmage. He's done a fantastic job of doing that, and we'll continue to see how much he improves throughout the upcoming weeks. I can't wait to see what he does against Kansas City because I want to see how much he's improved from last year's performance. Now, the run game, Gus Edwards and Mark Ingram are really doing their thing. Mark Ingram got a beautiful touchdown on a Wildcat play in the fourth quarter where he took the direct snap, cut it through the left side, took off, and broke free for a 30-yard touchdown. That was beautifully designed by Greg Roman. I like that play. We might want to use that again at some point this season. That was a great execution right there. Gus Edwards was running the ball hard. He got a lot of great yards. And one thing we all love about Gus Edwards is that whenever he takes the ball, he never loses yards. He's always moving forward. He's always gaining yards. So I love what he was doing there. As for J.K. Dobbins, he only got 2 carries. They got to get him more involved, especially after what he did at the end of the fourth quarter, man. He broke free for like a 40-yard run, and you could just see him. The cuts he was making and the jukes he was doing, that guy's going to be special. They have to get more carries for J.K. Dobbins. I like what I saw from him. Get him some more carries. I hope to see more of him this upcoming week on Monday Night Football. We'll see what they do with his carries. It alternates between week and week depending on how they look at the situation, but J.K. Dobbins needs more touches, and I hope they give him more touches on this upcoming game. Lastly, offensive line. The offensive line overall wasn't bad. They gave up 4 sacks, but 2 of them was to J.J. Watt. And we know what J.J. Watt is when he's healthy. He is that dude. So I'm not going to be too mad at them. Really, when it comes to the struggles on the offensive line, it was really the interior part of the offensive line that was struggling. Because the pass protection for Lamar Jackson wasn't necessarily great. He didn't have a lot of time to be able to buy time and really throw the ball down the field. Because a lot of times the pocket was just collapsing. But for the most part, I think overall they did a relatively solid job. They did better than what you would expect, considering the fact that the Texans have a really great defensive line. And honestly, Lamar could have been sacked more than what was given up. So give credit to how they were performing, despite the fact that the interior offensive line wasn't playing great. Obviously, that's the part we're trying to fix. It's going to take a while. It was only week 2, guys. We are still trying to improve and make adjustments on that offensive line. So we can't just expect the O-line to be perfect 2 weeks into the season. It's going to be a process. They're still trying to fix it, so we got to give that time. Overall, the offense did their job. Despite the fact that they weren't completely explosive, they did their job. They had no problem moving the ball on Houston. And honestly, when they needed to eat the clock and dominate time of possession, they did it. There was nothing the Texans defense could really do. Now, give them credit. In terms of containing Lamar Jackson in the pocket, they did a great job. And in terms of bringing pressure to Lamar, they also did a relatively good job. So give credit to that D-line. Give credit to the secondary for not getting beat over the top by our receivers. Defense overall, they did well, but they still gave up 26 points. So you got to deal with that. Moving on to defense. Marlon Humphrey, Marcus Peters continue. They are beautiful. Beautiful dynamic duo. They are two of the best cornerbacks in the game. Two all-pro corners, and they showed it yesterday. They just dominated, man. They did not let those receivers beat them over the top. They did their jobs, and they both forced turnovers. Marlon Humphrey punched the ball out, forcing a turnover that was picked up by LJ Ford. LJ Ford took it to the house for 6. And then on the following play, Marcus Peters, man, this guy is a ball hawk. The interception, you got to look at this because, again, I'm not sure many cornerbacks can actually make this play. You have to be a legit ball hawk to make the play that Marcus Peters made. Because Deshaun Watson did not see Peters at all. Peters, he read the eyes of Deshaun Watson, made a play for the ball, and just picked it off beautifully. It was a great throw by Deshaun Watson. It was going to get to its target, but Marcus Peters just read that and intercepted it, and it was just beautiful. He's a ball hawk. I love Marcus Peters. There's a reason why he has 28 interceptions in his career. The most during that time span. Just crazy. I love it. Both guys showed why they're all pro corners. They continue to play well, and they didn't really give up much to these receivers. I believe, at least the receivers they were covering. I believe Will Fuller didn't get a single target in yesterday's game, so that speaks volumes. Those guys were shutting the receivers down overall. As for the rest of the secondary, Deshaun Elliott played well. Deshaun Elliott and Chuck Clark, they played really well. They didn't give a lot over the top. They didn't really give up much, if any. They played really well. I'm liking what I'm seeing from Deshaun Elliott. A lot of people have been asking for him to make the call and for him to step up. And through 2 weeks, he stepped up. I think he even has a sack in this game. He's played really well. Deshaun Elliott stepped up. We're not having any problems with him throughout 2 weeks, which speaks volumes because we already knew he was this great as a talent. And now he's showing that talent. As long as he continues to stay healthy, we hope so, he's going to be playing at a high level in a couple. I just love what I'm seeing from Deshaun Elliott. And Chuck Clark, once again, he doesn't make those mistakes. He's a smart guy, the smartest player on the team. He just continues to be great and to be consistent, so I love that. Now, one person we do got to talk about in the secondary, Everett. Everybody was on Everett's case yesterday because once Tavon Young went down, Everett came in the game and he gave up a couple catches, and a lot of us looked at that and was like, oh my God, Everett's just not a good player. Now, me personally, I don't think Everett's a great cornerback per se, but he's still solid. He's our 5th cornerback. So what do you expect? You can't expect the 5th cornerback to be playing like an all-pro. He's the 5th quarterback for a reason. That's why you have depth. When you see situations like this happen, you have depth for a reason. You lose Tavon Young, Jimmy Smith takes that role, but Jimmy Smith's not always going to be there, so somebody's going to have to come in. They alternate, and that gives more snaps to Everett to play that cornerback position. And for the most part, he did relatively well. I mean, that illegal contact call was awful because, honestly, you look at the replay, that was not illegal contact. I don't know what the refs were doing. But Everett, he's going to continue to get more snaps. And honestly, as long as he be consistent, he doesn't give up the big plays, and he stays with his guy, we're not going to have problems. I feel like people are overreacting too much. He's not that bad, guys. He's our 5th cornerback for a reason. He's solid. So just give him an opportunity. As for our linebackers, Patrick Queen continues to impress, and Malik Harrison, he continues to impress as well. Harrison and Queen, I love them. I love them. Through 2 games, they have been impressive. Man, Queen has been doing his thing. He's got no problems. He's fitting well. And Harrison, in the game against the Texans, he ran down Deshaun Watson. That would have been a first down if Harrison did not run him down. Deshaun Watson picked up 5 yards, which was, it's Deshaun Watson. He's a mobile quarterback, and he's got speed. But for Harrison to chase him down and to prevent the first down, just goes to show how great he is. I'm loving what I'm seeing from our rookies. Our rookie linebackers, they're just looking nice. As for our defensive front, they did their job. I don't really remember seeing the Texans run game get going at all. Like that defensive front did not give up a lot of rushing yards. They did their job. They made the stop. Give credit. That defensive front, again, with them, it's more consistent, consistency. I like what I'm seeing from Calais Campbell. I like what I'm seeing from Derek Wolfe. You gotta love what you're seeing from the defensive front. That front seven is looking nice. So overall defense, they played spectacular. They gave up 16 points. Honestly, you couldn't ask for anything else from that defense to really do what they're doing, especially when you're going up against an elite quarterback like Deshaun Watson. So defense, honestly, they're rolling. They're looking great. I can't wait to see what they're going to do against Mahomes and the Chiefs in Week 3. It should be fantastic. Lastly, special teams. Not much to say there. They're doing their job. We're trying to see more from the return game, but again, that's going to be a process. We'll see what Prochet can do in the coming weeks. As for Tucker, Tucker is Tucker. He was perfect. He's going to make his kicks. That's just what he is. Tucker's the best kicker in the league, so you expect him to make those kicks. Overall, I like what I saw from the team. We didn't play our best game, and we still found a way to blow out the Texans, which that just speaks for what's going on with the Texans, man. I can see why a lot of Texans are frustrated. They're not mad about the losses to the Chiefs and the Ravens. They're mad that they're not looking competitive. You cannot be getting blown out at home by 17 points and expect to be competitive in the AFC, especially when you got the Ravens and the Chiefs. It's not, no. They got to do better. They've got to be able to execute better. They got to figure something out in Houston because they're not 0-2, and they do not look competitive at all. It's just going bad there, man. So they're going to have to figure something out. As for the Ravens, moving up to 2-0, we look like we haven't lost the beat for last year. We look disciplined. We look focused. We just look great. Now, here comes our upcoming test, and it's the biggest test of the season, in my opinion. You're going up against the defending champs in your house, Monday Night Football. It's going to be great, and I cannot wait to talk about that. Anyway, that's all I got for this one. Relatively short recap, but, not much to say. The Ravens continue to move forward and they continue to rack up wins. So we'll see what they do against the Chiefs on Monday Night Football. That's all I got, and I'm out of here. Peace. Go Ravens.